Welcome back on the red carpet with Allison. I'm so excited for this episode. Let me just tell you how excited I am. I don't even have notes because I'm so passionate about what we're talking about today. And I thought there's no one better to do this episode with than somebody I've gone to WWE events with. And I'll explain why in a second. So joining me on the red carpet today is Nate Johns. Hey, Nate.
Hello, Allison. How are you?
I'm good. Long time no see, right? It's not like we
Yep.
didn't just go to SmackDown together. Now, I will say Nate and I are friends by default because our moms work together and are really good friends. So that
Yep.
is how I know Nate. But also, Nate is in the communications field too. So tell me a little bit before we get into all of the WWE stuff. Tell me about your schooling. How's college?
Yeah, college has been fun. I'm a second year broadcast journalism major at Penn State, and it's been a lot of fun. I want to go into sports reporting, so I've really had a lot of opportunities to do play by play for radio, work on making packages and VOs for covering certain games, both for Penn State and local high school stuff. So it's been a lot of really fun opportunities, and getting to do that kind of stuff early has been really good.
And that leads me to why you're here because you're doing the sports side of it. Wrestling is my favorite sport to talk about, whether people think it's real or fake or not or whatever, and we'll get into that. So let's jump right into it. I first want to know, and my story is very funny, how I got into wrestling. Your story is probably, not like mine. So tell me about it. How did you get into wrestling?
Yeah, so for me, it really started back in 2012. I always remember the first episode of Raw I watched. It was the go home episode, so it was the episode of Raw before No Way Out 2012. It was a
Okay.
really weird time in professional wrestling because obviously you had the Attitude Era boom in the early 2000s, late 90s period. So this was kind of when wrestling was sort of at its lowest point, I want to say, because it really wasn't as popular as it had been at that point. The creative hadn't been especially good. But I got into it around 2012. CM Punk was the WWE champion.
Okay.
Sheamus was the world heavyweight champion.
Yes.
John Cena was in sort of the main event picture at that time, and it was right around Raw 1000. So I just remember watching it for the first time, and then I remember the next week, I was like, when can I watch it again? Like, that was sort of how I got hooked into it, was just watching it for the first time. I don't even know what it was that really, like, hooked me in, but I just watched it. I fell in love with it. I've been watching it now for 13 years. And yeah, it's not really like an interesting story, but it's just I watched it, fell in love with it. Here we are.
And you know what? Nate is a fountain of knowledge because we went to SummerSlam together, me, my mom, my dad, and my sister, and Nate. And my sister and I would just direct all the questions to Nate and my dad. And we were like, well, who do you think is going to win this? Who is that title going to change hands? Now, Nate has been watching for 13 years. I am a newbie. I am a newcomer to the WWE universe. And it is all thanks to a little 9-year-old girl named Piper. That is my sister. And it's not like I didn't know about it. It's just, no offense, I thought it was stupid in the beginning. And, my dad had it on sometimes like a while ago. And I remember thinking, oh, like, I like Sheamus, like, I like The Miz. And then all of a sudden, present day, it's Road to Royal Rumble. So this was early this year. My sister's like, Sissy, just one episode. Just watch one episode with us. I was like, Piper, I guess, but like, no. And so all of a sudden she put it on. I'm scrolling through TikTok and I look up and it's Dominic Mysterio. And I was like, oh, like, wait, I could kind of get behind this. And then Jay came on. I was like, wait, I could really get behind this. So that's how I started watching. And then Jay won the Royal Rumble, became, heavyweight champ. And I was like, okay, I'm really starting to get into this. We went to SummerSlam. That just confirmed it. And now I'm like, dare I say obsessed? And you completely get that because
Yes.
we've been in the car together, we've been sitting next to each other, and I think I'm doing pretty good as a WWE fan, don't you think?
Yeah, it's definitely something that takes a while to get into because like you're more into it than I was like at this point in my fandom because I remember when I was like I really got into like the internet side of it, like learning about promotions outside of WWE around and I had been watching for like 6 years at that point. So you're already much further along than I was at this point.
But you see, he's being nice. Here's the thing. I like the drama. I like, people getting jumped backstage. Like, I love that aspect. I also grew up, thanks to my mother who raised me on reality TV. I grew up with Total Divas. I grew up watching Brie and Nikki Bella,
Yep.
and I grew up watching Ms. and Mrs. And not that I was into the wrestling aspect, I just liked them outside the ring. So I am learning more inside the ring, but I'm also lore outside of it. I'm like, well, mom, did you see this about Jay? Did you see this? And my mom's like, Allison, like, where did you find this? So we went just recently to Raw and 2 tapings of SmackDown, which we'll get into the tapings because I really want to hear your take on it. Do you feel like when they tape a show that phones should be banned? Because the spoilers we are seeing for this Friday's episode are sending me.
Yeah, it's tricky because anytime you do those tapings, it's always a mess because people are gonna spoil it, and you have so much wrestling media out there that reports on spoilers and stuff like that. So, I mean, obviously they can't ban the phones, but it would be kind of nice to not have those spoilers, get out to be able to watch it live. But at that point, it's kind of just like it's in the age we live in where it's like if you want to avoid spoilers, you kind of just have to stay off the internet.
And I can't do that. Like
I can't
you
either.
and
I'm
we
not
are
good at it either.
broadcast people. Like me without my phone is literally like a fish without water. That is just how it's gonna go. So tonight, and here's another bad part. It's like me reading the last page of a book to see if I want to read the book. It literally said spoilers at the top, do not read for Monday Night Raw. And I read them. So where do you think we are going tonight after our live shows?
I don't know because I read the spoilers for SmackDown. I didn't read the ones for Raw.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll get into those, but at this point, I think it's just building towards January 5th and that big Raw on Netflix, first Raw of the year, Punk Breaker, main event, all the other things they have advertised. So I think it's just sort of building to that, they tape the show. So I don't think you're getting anything that's like truly like out of this world insane. It's just going to be a building block to that episode of Raw, making sure everybody gets there healthy and
And
nothing too insane.
so glad you mentioned that because I just told you. Now, you met my friend that I'm going with, and I'm going to call him, and you have to laugh at this. My friend is like the Temu version of LA Knight. He dresses up like LA Knight. And you know what? I would not rather go with anybody who I have not been going with. I'm really excited for January 5th, and I'll tell you why. I think a lot of titles, I think they're going to go balls to the wall. Like, I think it's going to be crazy coverage. I think it's going to be huge matches. I think a lot of things are going to happen. And I think a lot of titles, don't you agree, are going to change hands?
Yes.
Do you think Punk is going to be heavyweight champion after January 5th? My mom's
No.
my mom's going to watch, so
I don't think he is.
I don't think he is either. My mom, and that's why I said to my mom, I'm like, Mom, don't go because you're going to see him lose in person and you don't want that. Like, we were all there when Seth Rollins pulled his kayfabe,
Yeah.
and which was an epic moment to see live, and that
That was
made
so
me
cool. That
a
was so
Seth
cool.
Rollins fan because I didn't like him. Like, I didn't know much about him, but I didn't like him. So when he comes out with crutches and he drops them, and I literally, you and I and my sister were telling my mom all day, we were like, Seth is going to cash in tonight. My mom, you can literally hear it in a video that I have. She goes, he's still on crutches. And then I was like, yeah, Mom, he's still on crutches. He's your new heavyweight champ.
Yep.
But now he's obviously hurt, and we're going to talk about that because did you see, my heart hurts. Did you see that Dom is potentially injured?
I saw something about that over the weekend, getting hurt at the AAA show.
By his father, like his dad. I know the whole storyline, his deadbeat dad. His dad must feel so bad if that is like an injury that knocks his son out for a while. Because you have to
Yeah.
remember, Dom is double champ right now, and there's nobody else. I cried when he lost to Cena. That is how much I love Dominic Mysterio. I don't think I can have another IC champ. Like AAA, like I'm not really into it. Like I'm slowly starting to get into NXT, but AAA, I'm fine either way. He was champ, so I obviously watch. But do you think that's real? Or do you think this is part of his ruse?
I think it could be leading. I think you can work it into the story because I feel like they could be going to a mask versus hair match at WrestleMania because Ray's getting towards the tail end of his career. So this could potentially be leading to sort of like a retirement match. Like we already have so many wrestlers talking about retirement for 2026. I think that's where this is going. I think you can work that into the story. Hopefully, it's not something where it's severe enough that he's missing a significant amount of time, though.
But what a bad time to get hurt with the road to WrestleMania so like soon.
Yeah, it's the most fun time of the year, and you're always seeing different things. You know, the Mania plans are getting, leaked. The fake ones are coming out as
Oh
well.
yes, the fake ones are
Oh,
great.
I love those so much. But it's really the most exciting time of the year, and you want to have as healthy a roster as you can because you had WrestleMania 41, didn't really live up to the expectations that people had for it. So to be able to have a full roster and fully healthy and ready to go for WrestleMania is really important, and not having Dom would be a massive problem for them.
Well, we have to remember Dom got his IC title at WrestleMania.
Yeah, the Fatal 4-Way.
That was a match. And see, I have no other WrestleManias to compare that to. I'm sorry, fans listening. I'm so sorry. But that was my first WrestleMania watching. Minus, like, was this the one where Roman got betrayed this year? Or was
Yes.
that? Okay. See, I'm doing pretty good for myself.
Yeah.
I really, back to January 5th, I really hope that Rio are your new tag champs. Because do you like the Kabuki Warriors?
I like the story that they're telling, and I think the getting to this match for the titles makes sense.
I agree with that. I agree because we had all that build up with Io and Rhea and the Kabuki Warriors. I can't get behind Asuka. She drives me absolutely nuts. And I really hope that in that match, I would love to see Kyrie go against Asuka. Like, I would love it. Do you think that's going to happen?
I think it's a possibility. The thing with the women's tag scene is you could be building towards like this massive like 4-team match with the Kabuki Warriors, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, Nia Jackson, Lash Legend, and
Don't
of
get me
course
started on them.
Rio. So you can build to that sort of as like a 4-way match, maybe at the Royal Rumble. I don't know if you want to try to stretch that out all the way to WrestleMania, but I think that's where this could end up going. So I don't know if you're going to get a breakup of any of those teams before that moment, but I do think we're getting to that point eventually of Kyrie betraying Asuka and then everything sort of falling apart.
Now, you just said a fatal 4-way with one team noticeably missing. Where's your Judgment Day tag team in all of this?
I need to see who the tag team is actually going to be because Liv came back. You have Roxanne and Raquel. Raquel just challenged for the World Heavyweight Championship. Obviously, that match ended in disqualification.
She's
so.
on concussion protocol still, isn't she? Because did you
Smart.
see that massive welt
Yeah.
she got at our show?
Yeah, I saw that online after people were talking about it. So they're definitely going to factor into this as well. It's just a matter of what that team looks like and what the dynamic looks like now that Liv's back and who's going after the world title. Do Rhea and Io split up and go after the world title? What does that picture sort of look like? So there's a lot of Judgment Day drama to sort of get through.
Yes, there is. I love the Judgment Day. My dad cannot stand any of them. I can't relate. That's why me and my sister kind of just shake our heads at our parents because they don't really have good taste in wrestlers. I said what I said. And on that note, Nate's going to stick around. We'll be right back after the break. Welcome back from break. I'm having so much fun with Nate. This is really an inside look at the conversations we have daily about wrestling. And here's the sad part to admit, most of my conversations with my friends who are into wrestling have turned into just wrestling chats. It's like, well, what do you think's gonna happen? What do you think's gonna happen? And that's really how my family bonds. Like Monday night, we are sat 7:45 in front of that TV waiting for Monday Night Raw, which we're going to play a little game. Are you ready?
I am.
We're going to see if you and I agree, we definitely won't, who is going to unseat the current champions. Let's see if I could name them all off of the top of my head, because again, I'm doing this no notes. So let's start. We were obviously talking about it already. CM Punk, who do you think?
I think it's going to be Braun Breaker on the January 5th episode.
I agree with that. I think Braun, but you know what? That opens up a whole new storyline, because the Maverick, Logan Paul, cannot. I know, I don't like him either. As a person, I don't like him. Watching him wrestle, that's a different story. I will watch Logan Paul wrestle all of the time. I just don't like him as a human being. I think that opens so many storylines. Like, it seems like, what's his name? Bronson Reed is fine being in the shadow. It seems like he's fine being a right-hand man, like second in command. But Logan is not that person. And you know that Logan's either going to cost Braun or he's going to go right after it as soon as Braun wins and attack him for that title. And if Triple H, listen, Triple H has done a lot of bad things, and that's making John Cena tap out of his last match. But if Triple H gives Logan that heavyweight championship, I will not watch until he is not champion anymore.
I don't know if that's the direction they're going.
Okay.
I don't know what Logan's WrestleMania looks like, but it seems like the plan, at least from like things that I've read, is Braun wins the title, Elimination Chamber's in Chicago, Punk wins the Chamber. They do that as the Mania match. If Seth being healthy or not kind of throws a wrench into things, because right now he's supposed to be out for WrestleMania.
Oh,
obviously,
really?
Obviously, things can change. There's no definitive timeline on that. He was just at the Bears game the other day. so you don't know how this is going to shake out health-wise.
Especially now with Austin Theory being back.
Yeah, that was one of the reveals of all time.
Do you think, and we got that reveal, by the way, we saw that live.
Yep.
Do you think that is just one Masked Men, one and done, or do you think there's two more?
I think there could be more. I mean,
I agree with that too.
For the purposes of the story, Theory's the only one. There are theories that it could be a new faction for Chris Jericho when he comes back.
Interesting. Give me Chris Jericho back. But a lot of people have been saying it's Montez Ford, like the other one, and
Right.
Trick Williams. So I don't know. I've just seen a lot of that online. I wouldn't be mad. I mean, if we get Montez, bring Bianca back, please. I'm waiting for her.
That feels like a Rumble return for me.
Okay. See, everybody thought Liv was going to come back at the Rumble, but
Yeah, they did this.
Dom got his title back, so I
Yep.
was happy.
They did the Swerve at Survivor Series, which was incredible.
That was a good match, which brings me to my next champion. Who do you think is going to unseat Dominic Mysterio? Barring his injuries,
Okay.
and we'll only talk about the IC title.
Ooh, this is tough because they haven't really, because like he just won the belt back like a month ago.
Right.
They haven't really been able to set anything up. I'm trying to think who on Raw is like in that tier. I don't know if they're gonna do Finn Balor, but that feels like the logical story to tell is Finn Balor and then the split of the Judgment Day.
I could see that. I could also see, Logan has mentioned going after a title. I don't want Logan to have a title, but do they give Theory the push after being the Masked Man and give Theory that belt, which I really hope not. But if Dom is injured, they could do what they did with the heavyweight championship. They could have a little rumble like they did and have Dom, like how Dom and Jay were the last two people standing, and Jay and Punk that way.
Yeah, the Battle Royal.
Yeah. Oh, yes, the Battle Royal. See, I'm still, remember, I am still learning. But they could have a Battle Royal in that sense if he does have to vacate the title, which I really hope is not the case. But I could see Finn getting it. I could see Austin Theory getting it. We have to talk about our current tag team champions. I don't even want to say that. I do enjoy AJ and Dragon Lee wrestling. I'm not a fan of them. Like, I don't know enough about them, but who do you think's going to win? You know who I'm going to say.
I think we're gonna be in agreement here. I'm gonna say the Usos.
And I'm going to say the Usos too.
That feels like the next direction we're heading in. They just reformed as a tag team. The Raw tag division isn't like stacked with contenders, so Usos getting it makes sense. You could eventually build to a Jay and Jimmy WrestleMania match, which after the last one they did, please don't do that again.
He's like, please don't.
Please don't do that again.
I say if we get that, the WrestleMania tag match is going to be them and the New Day, because their match on Monday
could see that.
was epic. And no hate to Xavier Woods and who's the other one?
Kofi Kingston.
Yeah, Kofi Kingston. Just chanting in a crowd of like thousands that the New Day sucks is like really a bonding moment.
It's very fun.
It's very fun.
Very fun.
All right. Let's see. I'm trying to get on keel here. Okay, Maxine Dupree, our new IC champ. I love her. She leaps and bounds, is so good, is so, like, her growth is crazy. Do we get Becky Lynch coming? Because you have to remember, on the outside of things, she's probably going to be taking time off for her wedding that's coming up. Do they write her off like that, getting an injury? Who's unseating her?
This could be like a Becky wins the belt to set up an AJ Lee match at WrestleMania.
I like that. I like that a lot. AJ Lee with the belt would be my favorite thing. I see, again, I'm new to the wrestling scene, but I knew of AJ Lee just because she's like, her character's crazy.
Yeah.
And I really relate to that because some of her mannerisms, I'm like, wait, I did that. And like, my life's not scripted. So I'd love to see Becky as the AJ as the IC champ. Give it back to Becky. I'll tell you what, Becky as a heel with a belt was my favorite thing.
Becky Lynch on Twitter is great.
She was great. And that's not just us saying it. Sports Illustrated says it. Sorry, I had to do it. That was a perfect segue.
You had to. It was great.
So we kind of talked about the Kabuki Warriors. Are we in agreement? Rio.
Yeah, agreed.
It's happening. Rhea's getting a belt some way, shape, or form. So that's, and then the women's, who's real talk, who's unseating Stephanie Vaquer? I hope Steph has the title for a while. Give it to Liv. If they give it to Raquel.
I don't think they're giving it to Raquel.
Okay. I love Raquel. I think she's a great wrestler. Just with a belt, I don't think she's ready for that yet. Give it back to Liv. That's it. That's all I'm saying about it.
I was going to say, Liv feels like the next likely world champion to maybe set something up with her and Roxanne to give Roxanne that next step up into the main event scene.
Okay. That, or does the Judgment Day just dismantle altogether and it's a triple threat? All three of them, Raquel, Roxanne, and Liv, for that belt.
Possibly.
I don't know. That'd be interesting. I think that's all of Raw. We have to talk about Cody's run. I love Cody. My mom loves Cody, so I can't badmouth him. His run is getting so stale to me.
The problem with Cody's run is it's a lot like Seth Rollins' first run with the world title in 2023. So it just feels like we know he's not losing the belt until a major show. So you have difficulty getting invested in his feuds. And also, he's been feuding with Drew McIntyre since August.
Just give it to Drew. Here's my thing.
Yes.
Give it to Drew. But how you do it is they're fighting in the ring. Randy comes back, Randy Orton. Then Cody gets distracted by Randy. Drew hits him with the Claymore, new champ. That's it. That's all I have to say. Come on, that's a good theory.
I like that idea.
You heard it here first.
Because for WrestleMania, it feels like the direction is probably going to be Cody Roman 3, which I'm not that into.
Yeah.
I think you could tell a better story with Drew winning the belt because we don't want to go into the SmackDown spoilers.
No, but here's the thing.
Drew is getting a title match. That has been announced on TV. We'll say that.
Good.
So he's getting the title match. Have Drew win the belt and then tell the story of him and Roman. How Drew finally gets his moment after winning in the pandemic. How Roman screwed him over so many times with the bloodline. If you have to do Roman in a world title match at Mania, the story with Drew has more meat on the bone. And then do Cody Randy at Mania.
I love that. Well, I love the bloodline. See, that is one thing post my wrestling knowledge. I'm going to say it once. I just think all of the bloodline are so hot. That's it. That's all. Speaking of, I love seeing Solo, and I have to tell that story quick. My sister goes to you. Solo is obviously a heel. Nobody likes the MFTs. And everybody was booing. Now, I sat separate from my family at Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. My sister is screaming, Solo, yay, so Solo's so hot. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, she was right next to me.
And Nate was like, Piper, you're 9. That is your sister talking. Yes, carbon copy, because I can tell you the truth. I was doing that from my seat, screaming that Solo was so hot.
I love you, Solo.
I love Solo. Okay, we're going to have to be wrapping up. We're not going to talk about the Elia championship because there is a spoiler there. So we're just going to leave that up to your imagination. I am happy with the new champ though. Mellow don't miss. That's all I'm saying. Nate, thank you so much for being here today. This was so much fun. You're going to have to come back.
Thank you for
As
having
for me, Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and YouTube after my episodes air 2 to 3 p.m. weekdays on the 2822 Now app. That's it for me. Joey, roll that outro.